If you're a musician who plays by ear, you know this feeling. The music is just alive in your head, right? But trying to get it down on paper can feel like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. So today, let's break down how to finally bridge that gap, how to turn what you hear into something you can actually write. Man, this quote from a musician on Reddit just says it all, doesn't it? You're fluent in the language of music, but writing it down feels totally foreign. If that sounds like you, I want you to know it's not because you're bad at theory or anything like that. This is an incredibly common problem, and believe me, it has a solution.
All right, section 1, the ear-to-page problem. So let's get right into it. Why is this so hard for so many of us?
Well, the formal term for what we're talking about is rhythmic dictation. It sounds kind of academic, but all it really means is it's the skill, the muscle, really, that translates sound into written symbols. Think about this for a second. Sight reading is all about turning symbols on a page into sound. Transcription, or what we're calling rhythmic dictation, is the exact reverse of that. You're turning sound into symbols. This is why you can be an incredible player but still struggle to transcribe. You're working the same muscle, but you're flexing it in the complete opposite direction.
So let's get into section 2, your rhythmic toolkit. Here's the good news. This is absolutely a skill you can build. So let's start with the most important tool you've got.
I'm going to say this again because it is that important. Subdivide. The secret to cracking even the most complex rhythms isn't about hearing the beat as one giant chunk. Nope. It's about hearing all the smaller, tiny little pieces that it's made of. You have to subdivide. Now, to subdivide, you kind of need a system. The number system, 1 and 2 and, is probably the one you've heard the most. But there are other methods like Kadali or Takadimi that use syllables that can really help you internalize the feel of the rhythm. Honestly, it doesn't matter which one you use. The whole point is to give a name to every single sound you hear. Just pick one that clicks for you and stick with it.
Okay, here are some quick tips to get you going. First, don't try to transcribe an entire guitar solo on day 1. Just start with 1 or 2 bars. Keep it simple. Use a metronome, or even better, an app that lets you slow the music down. And before you've even picked up a pencil, get physical. Clap it, tap it, sing it. Also, since reading and writing are so connected, just practicing reading rhythms will make your writing better. And please, be patient. This is a skill, not a race. It just takes time. All right, section 3, a step-by-step method. Let's actually walk through what your very first transcription could look like from start to finish. Okay, here we go. Step 1, just listen. That's it. Listen to that little phrase over and over until you can sing it from memory. Step 2, find the pulse. Start tapping your foot. Now, step 3 is kind of the secret weapon. Forget about notation for a minute. Just make a mark on paper, a little dot or a slash, for every single sound you hear. Where does it land compared to your foot tap? Then, and only then, do you do step 4, which is translating that simple map into actual notes. And finally, step 5, check your work. Play what you wrote, compare it to the original. That last step is where you're going to learn the fastest, trust me. And that brings us to section 4, hearing beyond the notes. Now, this next idea from music educator Antonio J. Garcia is a real game changer. It's a method for understanding a piece of music so deeply that the notes and rhythms almost become the last thing you worry about. This is the big question. What if you just ignored the notes completely? What would you actually learn by focusing only on all the other stuff? I know it sounds a little strange, but this is how you can unlock a much deeper understanding of the phrasing, the emotion, and really the story of the music. So the first step is to just map the soloist's activity. You literally draw a simple line on staff paper when they're playing, and you leave a blank space when they rest. Instantly, you can see the phrasing. It's like you're seeing the breaths in a musical conversation. Are the phrases long sentences, or are they short, punchy little comments? Next, you add the contour. So on top of that activity map, your line now moves up and down to show the general shape of the melody. You're still not worrying about exact notes, just the overall direction. Is it climbing up? Is it falling down? You're literally drawing a picture of the melody.
And the final layer here is dynamics and articulation. You add markings for when it gets loud, when it gets soft, for when the attacks are smooth or sharp. Now, look at what you have. Without a single specific note written down, you've created this super detailed map of the solo's phrasing, its shape, and its whole emotional journey. You've transcribed its story. And this method can map pretty much any expressive quality you can think of. The articulation, changes in vocal or instrumental tone, how rhythmically busy or sparse a section is, even how musical themes are repeated and developed. See, this isn't just listening anymore. It's deep musical analysis, and it forces you to hear in a completely new way. All right, Section 5, your path to fluency. So how do we put all this together and get you from being just a listener to a writer? Here's the bottom line. That frustration you feel, it is normal. This isn't some permanent block. It's just a skill gap that you can absolutely close. The tools are simple. Subdivide, start small, and be consistent. And try listening for more than just the notes. Listen for the shape and the emotion. And maybe most importantly, transcribe music you actually love. That's what turns this from a chore into a joy. So I want to leave you with this question. Think about that melody that's stuck in your head, that bass line you came up with, that rhythm you just can't shake. With these tools, you now have a place to start. So what rhythm have you been waiting to write down? Go get it on the page.